Welcome to an iPhone 15 Pro unboxing and review video. Probably the 100th video that you've clicked on today. So here I have the iPhone 15 Pro in black titanium, and I have the iPhone 15 Pro FineWoven Case. So let's skip all of the jazz and all of the magic of how I got these products, and let's just get into it. So we're going to start with the typical Apple unboxing experience, which isn't really anything special, if I'm honest. It's just a typical Apple unboxing experience. You've got the iPhone logo on the side. It's a very simplistic box, as it always is. I've just removed these tabs, and now we remove the lid. And then inside is your beautiful iPhone. And this is the iPhone 15 Pro black titanium, as I said before. And you've got the iPhone here. And inside the box, you also get the USB-C cable. You do not get a power adapter in typical Apple fashion. You just get the cable. And it's a braided cable. It is quite nice. And you also get your little Apple booklet with your SIM card ejector tool and a single Apple sticker. Maybe they'll give you more, but they only gave me one. And there's your ejector tool. Let's put all that to the side for a moment. And then let's look at the phone. So it is a beautiful phone, as you can see. Black titanium, really nice. And one thing you notice instantly is that it is immediately lighter than the iPhone 14 Pro. And it is more ergonomically pleasing to hold. So the edges are more rounded. And there, as you can see, is that beautiful, beautiful USB-C charger, which is a bit surreal to see on an iPhone. I know it's been a long time coming, and we've known this has been a long time coming, but it is still a little bit surreal to actually see it in the flesh on an iPhone. Then we've also got this action button on the side, as well as your volume up and volume down buttons. Now, while that's downloading the software update, let's open the FineWoven Case. And let me tell you what I think about this. Now, this is meant to be their new FineWoven Case, which is very difficult to open, actually. There we go. So I felt this in the store, and it doesn't feel like the leather one. So this is not black. It's a bit like midnight, if you know what that color was. But it feels, you can hear that, right? It feels a little bit like suede, a little bit like that, but it does actually retain scratches. So I was doing that just now. You can see it's actually, if you can look at that, you can actually see it retains the scratches a little bit. So I'm interested to see how durable this is actually going to make your phone, as in how much protection it actually provides your phone, and how resistant it is to discoloration and scratches and marks and scuffs and all that kind of thing. So I'm interested to see how that actually fares. Now, if you can look, you can see that side by side it's not the same color. It's close. It's more like a midnight color. The phone is like a black titanium, which essentially is like a grey, like a very dark grey, whereas this is more like a midnighty blue color. And I've noticed that with the watches as well, is that they don't really have any sort of matte black accessories, which is what I'd like. It is quite a nice feel. I will say it is quite a nice feel. I wouldn't say it's as good as the leather cases you can get, but it is quite a nice feel. One thing you do notice with this is that the case actually just surpasses the camera lens. So if you was to put this face down on a table, it's not going to damage your camera lenses, because the case actually, the edge of the case just surpasses the camera lens. Okay, so let's just quickly recap on the specs for the iPhone 15 Pro. It comes with a 6.1 inch Super Retina XDR display. It has grade 5 titanium for the shell, and the size of the phone has decreased. The actual footprint of the phone has decreased whilst maintaining the screen size, which also means that because of that grade 5 titanium build, the weight has also decreased for the phone, which means it's a lot lighter and nicer to hold. It comes with an A17 Pro chip for enhanced processing and gaming, a 128 gigabit storage for the base model, and 8 gigabits of RAM, which is up from 6 gigabits, which it started with last year. And then let's not forget the USB-C 3.0 on the Pro models only, with transfer speeds of up to 10 gigabits a second. So there's one question you really need to ask yourself if you have a 13 Pro or a 14 Pro and you're thinking about upgrading to the 15. The one question you need to ask is, do I want USB-C? Because you can go through all the tech specs, you can go through all of the details and all of the massive upgrades that Apple have done this year, which I have said is more than what they usually do. However, when you ask most people, your average consumer, whether they're going to upgrade, the most thing that people are considering is USB-C. The cameras, whilst they have made some slight upgrades, they're not monumental upgrades. They're not huge. The actual camera is more or less the same. If you look at this with a side-by-side comparison with the 14 Pro, you can probably nitpick it and find little differences, but really, there's not that much of a change. The biggest change to the camera is the function where you can now just take a photo, any normal photo, and then you can afterwards, after the fact, go into the photo and change it into a portrait photo. That is probably the biggest change. The other biggest change is that you can now record at 4K 60 frames per second in log mode, and you can do it in 60 frames per second if you have an external device plugged in, which you would probably want to do anyway to save on your phone storage. Those are, in my opinion, the biggest changes to the 15 Pro, as well as it is nicer to hold. Once you take the case off, if you take the case off of the phone and you hold the phone just without the case, it is nicer to hold. It is lighter, it does feel nicer, it doesn't feel as bulky, and the bezels are ever so slightly thinner on the front. Like I said, a lot of people already have wireless charging, so USB-C might not be a big deal to a lot of people, but if you want USB-C and you want to take advantage of that, then that is a reason to upgrade to the 15 Pro. If there ever was a time to upgrade your phone, now is probably a good time because it's got USB-C. It is a nice build. The cameras are pretty good. It's done some nice updates. So if you plus iOS 17 as well is a big thing, and that's really, really good. So if you really wanted to upgrade, now's the time to do it. But to be honest, the question you have to ask yourself for most people, I'm not talking filmmakers, I'm not talking content creators, I'm talking about your average consumer that uses their phone to scroll through social media, to ring and text their family, to maybe film or take a few photos. This is a good one. But what do you think? Do you like the iPhone 15 Pro, or do you think it's just Apple just changing the name of the title of the phone like they do every year and maybe changing one or two things? Let me know in the comments below what you think. Or you don't really care, you're an Android user. Just let me know either way. So I'm going to be doing an upcoming video, a very detailed comparison between this and the iPhone 14 Pro. So stay tuned for that. But until then, people, thanks for watching.